Building good habits seems like the hardest thing in the world. You want to start going to the gym every day, but when the time comes, you just feel so lazy and then give up because you feel like going to the gym is too hard. You want to go 6 days a week to the gym, but you end up not even going one. To build good habits is a process. It's not something that you can build overnight. If you want to start going to the gym, you can't expect to go 6 days a week in the first week that you try because you are not good enough for that yet. You have not leveled up enough to go to the gym every single day for 6 weeks, for 6 days in a week. So what you need to do is you need to calm yourself down and you need to start small. Because when you're building habits, you can't build it all at once. When you're building a house, you can't build a house immediately with a snap of a finger. You have to lay down the bricks. And the first thing you have to improve if you want to build good habits is your mental health. Because if your mental health is bad, you're always going to resort to the option that has the least discomfort. That is, instead of going to the gym, you're going to go play some video games because that has the least discomfort. You can go play video games with no friction at all. You can go play and you can get that feeling of pleasure. But you're not willing to go to the gym because it will give you that discomfort. All these years you've been training your brain to seek comfort, and because whenever you have a choice you always pick the comfortable one. Going to the gym or playing video games, you pick playing video games. Like making some food at home or ordering food from outside, you pick ordering food from outside. Every decision you've made all these years of like choosing comfort over discomfort, that has trained your brain now to always prioritize comfort over discomfort. If you have an option, always take comfort. That's what you've told your brain, that's what your brain thinks now. Now we need to start rewiring that brain. We need to start telling it to prioritize discomfort. But that's what's going to progress us towards our goals. So what you need to do now is set a goal. What do you want to do? You want to start going to the gym, and start small. And before you start to do anything with building habits, you have to improve your mental health. Because when you don't improve your mental health, right, you choose comfort, right? Your dopamine levels are so low that you don't feel motivated to do anything. So you always choose the comfortable path. So you need to improve your mental health, and you need to stop doing your bad habits. And when you improve your mental health, you're more inclined to do good habits. You want to do good habits. You want to go to the gym. When you improve your mental health, your dopamine levels go up. And when your dopamine levels are high, you feel motivated. You feel happy. You don't feel depressed anymore. So when you improve your mental health, you start to do these good habits. You stop doing the bad habits. So the first thing you need to improve is your mental health, because that's the base upon every habit we're going to build. Any self-improvement tactic that you've seen, any productivity tactic that you've seen online, all that requires good mental health. You can't build a house without a foundation. It'll just collapse. So you need that foundation. Mental health is the foundation. So if you improve your mental health, if you have a good mental health, it'll be easy for you to build all these habits. So when we build these habits, you have to build them brick by brick. You have to lay down each brick, and then you build a house. So what do you need to do? At first, you need to start building the consistency. Right? When you have consistency, like doing a good habit consistently is far greater than doing it like not consistently, obviously, right? What I mean is, if you can work out at home, if you can do 10 push-ups every day for a week, that's better than going to the gym one day. Why? Because you're becoming more consistent. Your self-image is starting to change. When you do this consistently, your brain realizes, okay, he is a bodybuilder, he's an athlete, he's someone who goes to the gym and someone who works out. So when you start building that image of yourself in your brain, you're more likely to go to the gym. Because you view yourself as someone who goes to the gym and exercises every day. So when you have this identity right now of someone who doesn't exercise, your brain knows that you don't exercise, right? Because you always just sit around and watch TV. You don't exercise. So you have to build that self-image of being that person who does exercise. So you should start small, and you should just build this consistency by starting small. Can you do 10 push-ups every day? Of course you can. Anyone can do 10 push-ups every day, right? So don't start by immediately going to the gym and trying to go 6 days a week. You're not capable of that right now. Your self-image cannot handle that. So first, what you need to do is build that self-image, that new self-image of yourself, that you are a bodybuilder, you are someone who works out. And when you build that image of yourself, it becomes harder to not go to the gym than it is to. So what you need to do is build that self-image, and that is built by consistency. Do these small things every single day, 10 push-ups. The next week you increase it to 20 push-ups, and then you add little more exercises, and then you start going to the gym once a week, twice a week, thrice a week. And slowly you improve. Because what people do is they set a goal of going 6 days a week to the gym, and if they only go once or twice, they feel horrible. But the reality is, if you go once or twice a week to the gym, it's still better than what you were doing before. Before you were not going to the gym at all, but now you're going once or twice a week. That's why people give up. They feel bad because they're not meeting their requirement, they're not achieving their goals. But you're not strong enough for that yet, you're not capable enough for that yet. So what you need to do is start small. Set a goal to go to the gym once a week. You can do that, right? If you can just set a goal to go once a week, then your ego is going to take over and think, no, once a week is too less for me, I want to go 6 days a week. But listen to me, this is how you build habits. You have to slowly progress. When you go to the gym and you want to do bench press, you can't bench 100 kgs in the first day. You can't. First try to bench 5, then 10, then 20, right? You have to slowly, progressively overload every single week, and it's the same way with your habits. When you want to build habits, you have to progressively overload it. You can't try to bench press 100 kgs on your first day. You're going to get injured and you're going to fail. So when you try to bench press this 100 kg of habits on the first day, you're setting yourself up for failure. Don't set yourself up for failure. Set yourself up for success. So when you build these habits, you have to progressively overload. You have to start small. Start going once a week. That's your goal, once a week. If you went that week, yeah, that's your goal. If you can go more than that, that's really good. But your goal is once a week. The next week you make it to twice a week. And you do that for 2 weeks, and then you think I can go one more day. And the next week you increase it to 3, then 4, 5, 6. And slowly, like without you even realizing, you're going to the gym 6 days a week, every single week. Now, you couldn't have done that if you just started off with six days a week as your goal. But when you slowly build up that goal, like that goal has to match your level right now, your capability. How much are you capable of? You're capable of going to the gym, maybe not even once a day. If you're at that level, and you really need to ask yourself this question, leave your ego out of the way, you have to ask yourself, do I have the discipline to go to the gym once a week? I mean, if you're really down bad, if you're like depressed, it's probably not. You probably can't go to the gym even once a week. Right? So you start doing it at home. You start doing push-ups at home once a week, twice a week, thrice a week. It doesn't matter. When you're doing dumbbell curls and you're so weak, like imagine you're so skinny, you don't have any strength. People start doing dumbbell curls with 1 kg. Then they move on to 1.5, then they do 2. This might seem like such a small weight to like people who actually go to the gym. But this person, he's building up the consistency. He's doing what he's capable of right now. And slowly, in a year's time, he might be able to curl 10 kilograms, 15 kilograms. But the person who goes to the gym first day and he's damn weak and he tries to curl 5 kilograms and he fails, he's going to think, oh, the gym is not for me. I can't even do 5 kilograms, so I'm going to quit. I've seen this before. People quit because they set their goals far beyond their capabilities. Like, how do you expect to achieve it? This is what so many people get wrong about goal setting. Their goal has to be, you have to be capable of achieving that goal. I'm not talking about long-term goals. If you want like a long-term goal of being able to bench 100 kgs, you can set that goal. Because that's not your current capability, but you want to get there. But if you have short-term goals, like for this week, if you have a goal, I want to go to the gym like 6 times a week. Right? When you're setting short-term goals, you have to set it according to your capabilities. Because otherwise, you're just going to fail. You're setting yourself up for failure. So set your goals according to your capabilities and slowly build up that consistency. You're going to build up that self-image of yourself, of someone who works out, goes to the gym. When you have that self-image, your brain, like, you act as who you think you are. Like, you act exactly like your self-image. You are your self-image. The person who goes to the gym, who's very social, who like, does public speaking, maybe you can't do that because your self-image is of someone who's like kind of an introvert, who doesn't speak very much, who's not very social. But this person, maybe he's the same as you, except his self-image is that of someone who speaks well, who is very social, and that's the only reason that he goes out and he talks to people and he does public speaking. So you have to improve your self-image. That's like kind of the foundation, even with mental health and self-image. That's what you need to start building up these habits and start to improve your lives. Because you have so much potential. Every single person has so much potential. Going 6 days a week to the gym, that's not your potential. That doesn't even come close to reaching any level of your potential. If you've seen the amazing things that humans have done all these years in history, you see that going to the gym 6 days a week doesn't seem like much. Because you have so much more potential. Your potential is so huge. If you want to fulfill that potential, like I've seen a quote, it's a shame for a man to die without seeing his full potential. So start today. You need to see that potential. You're capable of so much. Every human being is capable of so much. I, for one, don't want to die without seeing my full potential. I myself do not want to leave this potential untapped because it's within me. I can bring it out with work, with consistency. So that's what I'm working towards. And my mental health has gotten so much better. My self-image has become so good. And now that I have improved myself so much, I can come here, speak to this camera, speak to you, and I can tell you how to improve yourself. Just the way I learned, all the trials and tribulations I went through. I'm telling you how to do it. So please, just listen to me. But people don't like listening to other people. They think they know better. Their ego comes into the picture. But imagine you went for martial arts training, and this instructor is telling you how to do a jab, like a basic punch. And you tell him, no, I don't think that's right. That instructor is going to look at you and like, what the hell? I'm the instructor. I've been doing this for years. So what you need to do is turn your brain off, because your brain has convinced you to do bad habits for the past years, so many years. So is that the brain you want to be trusting? Right now your brain is wondering, no, I don't need this consistency. I don't need this and need any of this. I'm just going to start going to the gym 6 days a week and see what happens. But trust me, your brain has convinced you to watch thousands of hours of TV shows, movies, entertainment, just frying your dopamine receptors, just doing bad habits. Is this the brain that you want to listen to? The key to become successful is just to turn your brain off and listen to the person who has the success that you want. So just start building this consistency. Start small, and you will end up being successful without you even realizing it.